All right, all right. Good evening, because it is 5 o'clock my time. All right, I am streaming live on all platforms: Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Let me turn on some light here so you guys can see. All right, there we go. All right, so good to see everybody. Okay, we're going to talk about a couple of things. My biggest thing is about today's topic is beware when purchasing a home. I'll tell you a couple of things that happened to me and just some things that you need to look out for. Okay. My goal is to make this my goal is to be quick, right? Because you guys know I can talk. So I want to give you tidbits so that you guys can take them away, nuggets, just as you're thinking. Because when you want to purchase a home, and because this is April is financial literacy month, so we're going to be talking about home ownership all month, and so it's something that I just need to learn more about. And so because I am a homeowner, and it's a lot of people that I know were like me that didn't know a lot about buying a home ownership. I seriously walked through buying a house as a ghost. I say I was a ghost because that's exactly what it felt like. That's when you know you have a good realtor, because you can absolutely know nothing and just walk on down the process. So, well, you got a good realtor and you have your money in order. So it takes a couple of things to walk through buying a house as a ghost. So yep, I know you guys were probably like, is she serious right now? Yes, I'm serious, because I didn't even know I had private mortgage insurance until a couple of years ago. I didn't even know what private mortgage insurance was. I didn't know what type of loan that I had, FHA or conventional loan. So now I kind of know, all of that, but I don't think it's a good idea to actually get into a establishment that's costing you $140,000, $200,000, $300, $300,000, $500,000, not knowing. A lot of times we see it, like ooh and we want it, but we still don't understand everything, and so that's how things happen. Like you get what else? You get bamboozled, right? So you need to know these things. I'm just glad I had a fantabulous realtor who looked out for me. So I would say I just wish I was educated a little bit more. I wish I was and I can't put that on anybody else. That's up to me. So you guys know that I never wanted a house. All right, so some things to make sure you look out for, and things that you need to do, because after you purchase your home, you want to make sure that you can maintain it, keep it up. Okay, that is a huge thing. You want to make sure that, a lot of times it just depends on your reasons for buying your home, right? So there are going to be different reasons. Some people are just in transition and need a house. They know they're going to be moving in the next 3 months, 6 months or whatever. So they definitely, if you know you're going to be moving, you probably don't want to be upside down in your home. So you want to make sure that you can still get the same value out of it if it's short term. Also, you do want to make sure that there's some growth there, especially if you don't think that you're going to be staying there for a long period of time, even if it's just a couple of years. Again, you want your investment, because it is an investment. You want your investment to matriculate and you want it to appreciate. And so in order to do that, you need to pick a good area, and you also need to be able to maintain the property as well. Otherwise, you could just, a lot of people, who can't afford or stay in their home, they usually end up taking a loss. And so we don't want you to have to do that. All right. So make sure that when things break down, that you're able to pay for them. Things can break down. Okay. They can. And they can actually, break down at the worst of times, and so we want to be prepared, which is why I always say, one, keep your debt down. to zero if you can, like, please. And hopefully you will purchase with no debt. That would be the best possible situation. Two, you want to have your emergency fund. If you don't, if the and I have a way with words, so I hate to say it, but if the closing process pretty much raped you of all of your money, right? Then you need to get back on it and make sure that pay you start paying into your own emergency fund. Also, don't get caught up too, because when you first buy your home, you'll have your first few payments will actually be like, they'll be super cheap because they're trying to catch up with everything after you've signed the title and all of that, and they're trying to get the taxes right, get all your paperwork filed and all of that. So make sure that you pay the price that they tell you, so that you don't, because it might say like $100. You might have 100 and some odd dollars for 3 months, and then, or even for 4 or 5 months, just depends, when everything goes through. And then you'll get to a month where your payment is like whoosh, the regular payment. And so you'll be like, oh my gosh, I owe all of this. And so, yeah, you want to make sure that you pay, because they're going to, because you should have been paying that large payment. So don't get caught up. I promise you, you don't want to do that, because then you'll be scrambling. And then within the first 6 months, you'll have some letters in your mailbox. So make sure when you get your house that you do pay the full payment for the first several months, and then even though it won't show on your statement. So that's something that you want to make sure of. Two, again, make sure you have your emergency, start piling up, stacking cash in your emergency fund, because things will break down. Now, in your first year, you want to make sure that you report any and all things. I will tell you a couple of things that happened to me in the first year. And now I'm like, I have to go back and find my paperwork just now, because I was told that I have a 10-year warranty. So I did still do all of my things within the first year, but I was also told that my house had a 10-year warranty. Like, that was one of the big selling points, hey, you still get the 10-year warranty. And so that was one of the big selling points for me as being a first-time home buyer. And so now I'm having issues with that. So make sure you know your policies. Okay. Make sure you know your policies. In the first year too, make sure that you report any and everything. Now, what happened to me is that I had a couple of things that I needed to get done. Actually, I had some major things that needed to get done, like something in the tub, the tub, and I think there was one other thing, I can't remember what it was, but the tub thing was like huge for me, because there was like a dent in it, and they had to like bang it back in, repaint it and everything. And so, but now what's happening to that? What do you think happens when you try to patch stuff up? Y'all know the black tape. What happens? Now you have an issue or a problem. Well, one thing that I was trying to get fixed had not gotten fixed, and it took them forever to get to it. And so the builder, there's, I guess, the foreman, whoever is over everything. I don't know if they call him a foreman, but he came to me with some credit cards. Gift cards. They were gift cards. It was like a lot of gift cards. It was like 10 or 12, maybe 15 gift cards that were worth $25. 25. Yeah, I think they were 25 each. And so, was it 15? It probably wasn't 15. It was probably like 10 or 7 or something like that. Like maybe $200 worth. Who knows? I don't know, a couple of $100 worth of gift cards. And was like, look, if you sign that we finished it, I'll make sure, we'll get to you. But I'm trying to get this report in for, my people, my boss. And so, hello, cash money, gift cards. You know what I did, y'all. So again, not having those good financial principles. You want to make sure, because that little $200 that you're taking now can end up costing you thousands and thousands of dollars later. And so don't settle. Okay. Don't settle for, quick cash. And so that's what kind of got to get out of that for home ownership. You want to always be prepared, and that's why you need that emergency fund. Had I had an emergency fund, had I had, my finances straight, then that little clash, I would have been like, get out of my face. Y'all gonna fix this, and I'm not gonna sign until you do what you're supposed to do. And so, yeah, you want to make sure that. But in that first year, I think for me, a lot of it, I didn't know what to do. I was afraid to ask questions. So any little thing that you do see and find, make sure you ask questions. Make sure you report it. I don't care what it is. Just let it go. And see, that's where someone like myself, a financial coach, could help you, because I'm going to tell you to ask those questions. I will get on the phone with you. I'm not going to ask them for you, but I'll get on the phone with you to help you do that. And so, and just don't think just because it's a new house that it's going to be flawless. It's not going to be perfect. If you have that warranty, you need to use the heck out of that warranty. Like, use it a lot, right? Because they're always going to try to get over on you. All right. Another thing. All righty. And also, okay, if you have people in your home in that first year too, who don't want to be inconvenienced, who cares? Okay. You're going to have to learn how to set boundaries, wake up and keep going, because that's another thing that happened, is that in order to get one of the items fixed, it was going to inconvenience us. Like, we're going to have to use one bathroom. One person didn't want to do that. And so I was like, okay, I will just do the patch up work job or whatever. And so, but now who's stuck with that? Right. So that's when you have to think. Like, I wasn't thinking like, okay, this is my house. If something actually happens down the line, it's going to cost me, $10,000, $20,000 just for that one thing. If I need to remove the tub, that's going to mean they're going to have to remove the tile. They're going to have to remove the flooring. That goes into the walls and all kind of stuff to reinstall that. And so now I could have had it fixed within the first year with some inconvenience and just kept going. And now I'm going to have to dig into my pocket. So those are things that you have to, especially if you are, even, I don't care if family's there, your roommating, whatever the situation is, you're going to have to just own up. It's your house, and you need to make sure that you get the items fixed. Okay. Don't back down from fixing it within that first year if you have that first year home buyer's warranty. So those are some things that happened to me, and I'm not bitter about it. I just understand that, again, I'm a people pleaser, and I understand that people pleasing has cost me so much money. Okay. And so you don't want it to cost you. You just don't want it to cost you. Okay. You got to speak up. You got to set boundaries. All right. So we talked about emergency funds. We talked about making sure when things break down. We talked about your first year. Okay. It's also probably good within that first year, or even before you buy your home, if you can get into a first time buyers program if you've never owned a home. Okay. And we talked about making sure you have emergency funds. All right. Another thing is when you get a home, you definitely want to find reputable people. You're going to need it. It's like a community, because when things do break down, you're going to need to ask questions, right? Also, before I get that, you're going to need to, ask questions, because, you'll have contractors come in to help you fix up and do things. And then especially singles and women, we may not all of us. Okay. I know there are a lot of handy people out there, but not all of us, especially if we grew up inner city, you may not know how to do certain things or fix certain things. So you may or may not be handy with your hands. And so you're going to have to hire somebody to come into your house. I always like to use referrals. I don't like to just call random. I know I don't think, do they even deliver the telephone book anymore? I have no idea. But, we used to flip randomly through the phone with the advertisements for repair services. But now, there are things out there like Angie's List. I used Angie's List one time to get my garage fixed, because it was like 11 o'clock at night. And so he got there like, oh my gosh, like 1 o'clock in the morning. And so use reputable people. Now, I couldn't contact anybody that late, so I went to a service that had reputable people and checked out the reviews. But if you can keep a list of people and service contractors on hand that, maybe other people have used, then that keeps, one, you feel a little bit like you're not going to get screwed in the prices, right? And then two, you should be able to know if you can call them for emergencies, if they do 24 hours emergencies, and what it will be. And so that's why I say, because you kind of need a tribe when you have a new house. And then sometimes if you have somebody in your network and your circle that's pretty handy, get them to teach you how to do certain little things, like how to turn off the water, how to now look, I'm talking about the water that go, on the inside, not the water that the water company comes out and does, but you might want to learn how to do that too, because I grew up poor, and we just gotta do what we gotta do, right? But the waterman think he turned the water off on us. Please, my mama had a crowbar, and she worked that thing, and we got our water back on. Y'all just gonna have to get y'all money on the back end, okay? So, but yeah, make sure you get a tribe so that you have people to fix things, and then learn how to do certain things yourself. Like, I know the toilet gets backed up, get one of those little snakes. So there are little objects that you can get. Another thing is that's pretty much it. I said build a network, and then in your first year. So that's kind of like, some general stuff that you can look out for. If you guys have anything, like what should you do after now, so a few other things that you want to be aware of, filing for homestead. I know in Texas we have to do that. You also, how do you negotiate? Now, that's the one thing that I still need to work out, is negotiating my mortgage rate when it goes up because of taxes. And the appraisal that they do each year. And so you can actually write in to get that lowered, so that way your payments don't go up so high. Also, you want to make sure that you save money to pay your HOA fees, because ours have steadily gone up, and I've complained that they've been so high, and I've asked other people how much theirs are, and I'm like, oh, let me be quiet, because let me be quiet. I think we started out at 200, and then we're up to 600 now. And so there are other people. There are so many people who I know their HOA fees are way more than that, and some of them are monthly or quarterly. So, okay, thank you. I'm so glad for what we have. But we do have, and my house is a patio home, and so we have townhomes that are in the area as well. And so, but those, their HOA fees are even higher than the standalone houses that are in my neighborhood. So when I heard how much they pay, I was like, okay, let me be quiet. But you want to make sure that you do plan for that. And so you could, if you wanted to, like, we have a payment portal, so you could pay. Mine is not monthly, they just bill us yearly. And so just make sure that you save money to do that, or make a payment plan. Because so what I will do, usually I know it's due January 31st. So what I normally do is that I plan to make payments to my HOA company the last 3 months of the year. So I'll just split it up, so that way I don't have to make a bulk payment. So I'll put a little bit in like October or November and December, and then finish paying off in January. And so, or you can just hold that into an account as well and do it that way. All right. So those are just some tips. Hopefully that helps somebody. If you have some better tips, go ahead and put them down. Again, I didn't know a lot of stuff when I first started owning a home, and I just breeze through that process. Now, let me tell you something that happens to me. Make sure you read your statements for financial statements, because if you don't read your financial statements for your mortgage, sometimes you won't know when they actually have done that reappraisal and your payments are going up. And so this is why I say owning a home takes a huge responsibility. So you got to be grown up, read your financial statements. And what that's going to actually help you do too is to see how much you're paying in principal, see how you're paying in taxes. Because remember, just because you're getting a house, that's still a debt. And so it's a debt that if you stop paying, they can take your home away, right? So you still need to look at your statements. Don't just get comfortable with just being able to afford the bill. We want to tackle this debt just like other debts and just get it down as quick as possible, because if you got a 30-year or 40-year loan, that interest rate, you're going to be paying a lot more in interest if you would just if you would pay less if you would add a few dollars, to your principal each month, maybe a couple of $100, add that to your principal and making a separate payment. So you pay less over time. And you can actually, there have been people that I've known with testimony through an affiliate program that I'm with. They've paid because they've used the strategies that the company has laid out, and things that, most millionaires do, like minimize taxes and all kind of stuff, and paid their house off in 8 years, 11 years. And so you want to make sure, have a plan, have a goal. Don't just have the goal to get the house. The next step is when are you going to pay off the house? When will you have it paid off? What is your goal? And how can you add some bulk payments on there to do that? So don't just be satisfied with just getting the house. How can you pay it off? Because anything can happen, right? Anything can happen, and you want to secure it as soon as possible. All right. So another thing. So what happened to me is that the company, I paid my payments in 2 payments. And so what happens when you do that is that when you pay your payment in 2 payments, the mortgage company does not apply your payment until you actually have the full payment. So half of your however you pay it, the money that you pay first will go into a retainer, and then and that's like a holding area. And so then once you pay the next payment, it will all be included on your one payment, and they'll use that to pay your payments. Well, what happened to me is that because I paid in 2 payments, the one payment was held in a retainer, and then I paid the last half. But the last part, and it actually wasn't even half, it was like maybe less than 10% of my actual total payment, which was like $100 and some. But I had to do it that way based on how I got paid. And so I paid that, and they did not apply it to my payment. What they did was they put it on top of the principal as if it were extra income. And it's like, what? No, that's not what we're doing. And so once they did that, that happened in December. In January, I started getting late notice. January, yeah. Was it January? So yeah, I started getting late notice after the time frame when my mortgage was due. They started sending me late notices. And so once I got the late notice, I got on the phone. And so I started calling them and letting them know. But during that time, they were transitioning, and they moved my account over to a new company. And so y'all, so I started calling a new company to let them know that, because at first I was like, this is not legit. Like, I'm not getting a new company. And so I was still paying them. And no, but they had moved it over. So that's why you want to make sure you read your financial statements. But so I called the new company, and I'm arguing with them that, hey, no, I don't owe this. I paid my bills, because I had it set up through bill pay. So I know exactly what's being paid. I haven't touched it. It's been like that for years, right? And so this actually happened in 2017. Yep, at the end of 2017, 2018. And so I got on the phone, opened the case. I talked to so many people, and they just hadn't fixed it. And so it kept going on. That can from all the way until 2019 spring break is when I fixed it. So it got to a point that I could not handle it anymore. I would pick up the phone and say, "Can I speak with the manager? Can I speak with the supervisor? I'm not answering any of your questions." I was like, "If you can't get me to the supervisor, I'm hanging up." And that's just, I had to go there. I'm sorry, because I already know, I'm looking at my payments. I'm paid the same thing every month. So during this time period, I've gotten foreclosure letters. I have stacks and stacks of late notices, and I have all of them still. I have stacks of late notices, and with the extra fees added on there. And the whole time, what did I do? I paid what I was supposed to pay. That was it. I paid what I was supposed to pay. Now and you know what happened? You know what happened? The reason how, and I did not know for a while some of the stuff going on, because my post office was not giving me I got a stack of mail, like 72 to 100 pieces of mail in our mailbox late December. That's what started it all, because I was like, how in the world we weren't getting our mail? And so that's how I could figure out. I think they had started to do a late notice back in November, but I didn't see it until December. And so I immediately got on the phone. That's that's why, hey, oh my gosh. So anyway, but I got that, and they kept sending the notices. But until I got on the phone, I actually, with our job, we have like paid legal services. And so I got on the phone with them. I know most people don't use their services that they get, but look, that's another thing. We need to start utilizing our services and taking advantage of those where we can. Especially, you can get a free will through those things and everything. So I would use that. But I did call them, and I was looking for a financial attorney. So I found one. I called around. Like, look, it takes a while for them to call you back, so call multiple. So I called them and told them what was happening. And I was like, hey, like, I need somebody, because they're trying to take my house, and I have paid. They have misapplied my payment, and I don't know what else to do. So not only did I get on the phone with the lawyer, but months later, like in January of 2019, I sent a letter to the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. I also hit up the Attorney General, and I felt like it was discrimination. So I sent a letter to the was it HUD? I think it was HUD. That's in my area. So it was the housing development. And so, yeah, I hit everybody up. And as soon as I started talking about who I contacted, that I talked to my lawyer told me to ask you this, the supervisor got on the phone. After a year, I got a supervisor on the phone. Yeah, it took a year and 3 months. The supervisor got on the phone so it took me basically about 3 or 4 days over my spring break. I mean, I'm talking like 8 hours a day. I had requested every single piece of paper that now I requested every single paper, but it wasn't on spring break that I requested those. I had requested those way back when, but I went through every single financial statement that they had sent me. And then when he got on the phone, he was like, "Oh yeah, you have a case from last year. We're working on it." Do you think they were really working on that case? Y'all, be for real. They weren't working on that case, because if I hadn't picked up the phone and started really grilling in on them and sending letters to the Attorney General and stuff like that, they weren't going to do anything. They were going to try to take my house because of their mistake. And this is why we have to be diligent about it. Now, I know not everybody has the mindset to fight like that. And so sometimes you need people in your corner. Sometimes you need a financial coach in your corner. Those are things that we can help you with. We can send you here. We can send you there. We can help you write those letters. We can help you stand up and be strong when you can't be strong. Because I definitely wish, because I was really going through something, which is why from July 2018 to December of 2019, I could not deal with that at all. Like, it was just way too much. And so I just stopped communicating. I paid my bill on clockwork like I normally did. And so that was it. Until I got ready to deal with it, I dealt with it. But I don't advise that, because if you clock out, clocking out could actually, get your house taken away, right? And so we have to be very vigilant to stay on these people. I really do feel like it was a tactic, because I'm, well, if you put me in the low income category, because I was working from home then, so I wasn't making a lot. I was making like $40,000 a year, and so it was just it happened to a cousin, and so I was like, dude, that's the same thing that happened to me. Basically, they misapplied the payment, because that's what they did to her. They misapplied her payment, and then they tried to take her home. And so, but look, when the man came to her house, because her situation is a little different of how she has her house, she had all her paperwork. She had everything in order. And see, they expect for certain people, not to have their stuff in order. But when you show up, show up and show up and show out. Like, I'm not saying you got to get all crazy and, do all of this, but you just show up with the right stuff. Show up with the right attitude and with the right proper verbiage and language. You shut them down. Shut them down. And so, but, had it been anybody else, it's been out of there. It would have been out of there. And so, yeah. So, you know what? I got a great topic to talk about next. But yeah, definitely make sure you read your statements. And, if you need to contact the Attorney General, there's a savings and finance, should be a savings and finance for every department in every state. You can contact them. If you feel you're being discriminated against, you can contact them. I reported the mortgage company. If you also can contact, so yeah, that would be the Attorney General in your state. And then also get with legal lawyers, especially if you have something free through your work. You utilize that. If you don't, there's still other places out there. I think I went on a couple of different areas just to look, but I just called them up, and before they even said they were going to take the case, they were like, well, look, try this first, and then, do this or whatever. And so they didn't have to take on the case. They just gave me some advice, and boom, that advice was great, because as soon as I said lawyer, it was fantabulous. So yeah, that is it. I think I'm 33 minutes in, but those are your tips for home ownership. Again, if you're ready to purchase a home, not ready, why would you need me if you're ready? No, but if you want to purchase a home and you want to get ready, if that's your dream, if that's your passion, that's something that you want to do, but you're in a lot of debt, you want to put yourself in a better position. You have trouble budgeting, you live in paycheck to paycheck, but yet you feel like you make enough money. Okay. Don't feel bad, because guess what? People who are making $500,000 are still living a paycheck to paycheck. People who have these $1 million contracts with the NBA and NFL, they still living a paycheck to paycheck. Their tickets prices of what they're buying and purchasing are just bigger. Okay. That's why I say I just live a simple life, modest life. So when I get to where I'm getting to, I'm not going to have to worry about that, because I'm just living a simple life. That's all that's all I aspire to, but I aspire to help other people, because that's, to me, is like the gold mine. It's the hard work, but yet, you just show up in others' lives. And so if you need help, you can allow me to help you. Just schedule a free consultation. I put the link in the chat. I don't know if I can put it live on here, but I will upload this to Instagram as well, so that way you guys will have it. But you can also just click the link in my bio and for consultations, a free consultation. We'll talk. There's no judgment. We've all made mistakes. I just told you about how I checked out. Don't check. Like, they could have taken my home, with me checking out for about 6 months. So I don't think you should do that though, because that's not good. But I think because I was still making payments, they not still making my payments. But so yeah, that is it. If you guys have any questions, I am a research guru, so ask away and I will find the answer, and I will find who has the answer if I don't find the answer, because that's what I do. I don't only just help you budget and eliminate debt and come up with that plan to crush it, encourage you, remind you of why you're still out here doing it, why you still need to, be consistent, why you need to set boundaries, why you need to show up for your own life. Okay. And guys, if you work with me, I have some bonuses. Ooh. All right. So I do have some bonuses if you decide to work with me. One, you'll get my upcoming book for free. It's coming up. Two, you'll also get a 15 minutes. So I call them like lifelines. You get 5 lifelines. So I do mines in packages. So you get 5 lifeline 15-minute phone calls, because your other support is voicemail, text, and email. So I can answer through there, but those a little delayed. So, you'll get those 5 15-minute call lifelines. And then also you'll get a ticket. We have a conference coming up in May. I'm so excited about May the 2nd, Reignite Your Finances. If you book with me, not just for the free consultation, just like if you actually become a client, then I will throw in a ticket to that, because it's going to be workshop style. I might even put I have a beta boot camp coming up. Might put you in there too, because yeah, I need you to grow. I need you to grow. And then the last thing is, if you pay in full, you'll get an upgrade to the VIP ticket, which is going to be a lunch and learn, and you'll get all the replays of the conference. And don't tell anybody, okay? I'm going to be having some quarterly giveaways, because I can't wait to give away some. Well, I'm not going to tell y'all what I'm going to give away yet. You got to wait. All right. So that's it, y'all. I am Rashida Roberts with Target Financial, where we target your mind and your money. Again, this is April, and it is Financial Literacy Month. And so we're talking about home ownership. I wish you all the best. God bless you. Peace to you. If you have any questions, please reach out. I'm harmless sometimes, unless you mess with my baby, but she's gone now. So, all right, you guys take care, and happy Easter to everyone. Happy Easter to everyone, and happy Easter. All right. Bye. Adios. Thank you, Professor Starks, for joining. Good to see you. And did I have any comments out here? I don't think I have any comments. Okay, nope. We're all good. All right, then. Well, I'm out. And here we go.